Today's session is going to be about overcoming loneliness, and we are going to look into the deep intricacies of loneliness, how we reach a point in our life where we start feeling lonely, right? So, um, I'm sure all of us at some or the other point of our lives have felt lonely, right? So, it's not a rare phenomena. In fact, it's a more common phenomena that like most people can resonate with, right? So, what is loneliness? To understand loneliness, we need to understand this one word which is called separation, right? So, if you look at a small child, if you look at a child who is 5, 6 months old, somebody in your family, and you'll see that, small children are so free flowing, right? They're so much in coherence with themselves, with life, and not consciously yet, of course, but they are like, they're just like being in that moment, enjoying everything which is coming along. If it is a pudding, they're eating it. If it is the touch of their mothers, they're feeling it fully. Whatever it is in their lives, they're doing it so fully and so engrossed, and as if there's no other moment that exists, and they're like so much there, right? It's there in their eyes. So that's how we all are when we are born, blank slate, nothing there, right? And then as life happens, and because we are dependent on a lot of people to raise us. We are not like animals who just come out of their mother's wombs and they start walking, or they start flying, or they start finding food for themselves. We are so dependent. Our survival is so dependent on people around us, and that's how we grow up. So uh, when we are connected to everything, right, and then slowly a separation starts happening, where we feel that we are maybe not connected anymore, right? Maybe I'm separate. Maybe it's not the way I have perceived it yet. That first pinch of that shock that comes to us, that maybe I shouldn't have done it that way. I shouldn't have done this. And all of those shoulds and coulds, right? And the first glance of separation starts coming up. Right? So, to understand this, let's understand the story of Ron. So, there's this small child whose name is Ron, and he's growing up with his brother and his two parents, and living in a family where both of the parents are working, right? And he's growing up, he's 5, 6 months old, and because of both of his parents are working, it's like, you know, he has to get to that point where he has to spend a lot of time to with the nanny and all that, right? And sometimes he wants to be with his mother, but his mother is just not available. Sometimes he wants to play with his father, but he has to go to work, right? And then Ron slowly understands this thing, that maybe my parents are too busy for me, right? Mm. And the same thing happens to Ron's brother, and both of them somehow learn to manage themselves well and grow up in that environment. Now, story of Shruti, right? So there is this girl Shruti who is being raised in a joint family, right? And everything is fine, and until one day she's an year old, and her mother just tells her that I don't have time for you. I have to take care of so many people at home, right? And I need to go there, and so please you stay with this person. Normal things like all the parents, all the things in our in all the families, some or the other thing happens where parents are busy, they are doing their own things, right? And then because we were born with the survival mechanism, we needed people to feed us, we needed people to bathe us, we needed people to take care of the body, the physiological system. But as we slowly grow up in our lives, we also develop an emotional system where we want to be loved, we want to be seen, we want to be heard, we want to be accepted, we want to be acknowledged, appreciated, and where we want to be now seen by people, right? And then in most environments, like in Ron's case, his father was very, very competitive and very achiever kind of a person. And he told Ron, as he was growing up and he was 4 or 5, that when you grow up, you need to become this so that people can respect you. And when you grow up, you're going to be this. If you get good marks, then we are going to give you this. So slowly, that innate belief that the child had, that I'm loved, I'm seen, I'm heard, I'm acknowledged, appreciated, that's steadily starts shifting to, I need to earn this, right? I need to earn this. So slowly, the uh, presence that the child had, where he or she was enjoying everything in life, slowly starts breaking down into splits, right? And now imagine that in so many years we go through so many life situations, being raised either with parents who have their own situations, parents who have their own unresolved wounds, coming from generations, parents who um, come from dysfunctional family system, who have and people in our environment, the school that we go to, the environment that we are raised in, everything impacting now Ron's and Shruti's, if you can imagine them, these small children. And they say that maybe it's not that easy for us to feel that love and connection, right? I need to earn this thing. Or maybe whatever set of beliefs that we develop according to whatever situation that we are going through. Maybe if you have to get love, if you have to build connection, you have to be a certain way. So I remember hearing it from my mom, that you need to be a little bit of an extrovert, you need to be a little bit more talkative, more open, so that people can connect with you, otherwise you will be alone, right? And I've heard so many adults saying that um, relationships don't work, people leave, right? And deeply, innately, somewhere we develop these beliefs because we are told that we need to earn things, then we are not good enough. Whenever we failed, we made mistakes were not appreciated. We were told that if you make a mistake, if you do things wrong, things are not going to work out in life, right? And so many different kinds of beliefs and so many different kinds of experiences, incidences, causing so many splits inside us, right? Tearing us and pushing us towards being separate. Now, separate from whom and separate from what? First of all, we got separated from ourselves, right? So there was an internal guidance system that we were following, right? Before we heard this thing that you need to do something, act in a certain way to earn something in relationships, there was an internal guidance system, and we were free flowing, and whatever we wanted, we asked for it. We just assumed that things are going to be fine, I'm going to be taken care of, I'm going to be loved. And there was no such question as, what if I'm not loved, what if I'm not good enough, right? So there was a natural internal guidance system which used to tell us that, go there, do this, you're hungry, you need to poop, you need to go out, you want to play, right? But then we started altering, or maybe leaving, the internal guidance system, and we started shifting towards what? The external guidance system, which is based out of people around us, our parents, our environment, the people that we meet, maybe our teachers, our friends, the school that we go through, maybe some strangers and their stories, or some incident, or maybe some kind of a trauma that we see or we experience in our lives, right? So the internal guidance system shifts to now an external guidance system. And as we learn over a period of time, as we grow up, to rationalize things, because rationalization is easy, emotions are complicated, intuition is blank, right? So rationalization and logic becomes our go-to thing. And then because we have our experiences, because we have seen, we may be seeing hundreds of things in our lives, 95 things going right, 5 things going wrong, right? But because of negativity bias, and because we don't want to be hurt, we don't want to feel bad, we don't want to protect ourselves, we want to feel safe, we want to feel in control, we hold on to the 5. Maybe it's more in some people's life, in some people's life it's lesser than that, could be different scenarios, but I'm just taking an example that 5 of those things out of 100 that went wrong, now we cling on to those things, and we create a defense mechanism, a coping mechanism around that thing, that what if this goes wrong, what if this person rejects me, what if this person abandons me, what if I'm not good enough for this person, right? What am I not able to love this person enough? What if I behave in a certain way? I am this, I am that, I am too shaky, or I'm too impulsive, or I'm whatever labels that we are giving, or I'm too shy, or I don't know how to talk, right? Or I am not presentable enough, I'm not good looking enough, any of those things. And we keep holding on to all of those coping mechanisms, defense mechanisms, so hard that it becomes our way of responding to life and relationships, right? And the separation has happened by this point of time within ourselves. So we have now separated with ourselves. And as we have separated with ourselves, left our internal guidance system, we have moved to the external guidance system and become dependent on everybody else that we encounter in our life to make us feel connection and that love. So I'm not saying that relationships are not something that you make you feel connected. Of course relationships make you feel connected, right? But what is happening that now we are running behind them, we don't feel safe within ourselves, we don't feel connected to ourselves, and thus because our in entire response system is dependent upon how other people are going to respond. And because we have our own beliefs, our own fears and insecurities, we continue to respond, react, and live in an autopilot mode, just in the same way over and over and over again. And the moment one day, Ron's or Shruti's friends are just not available, and they feel so lonely because they have not figured out for themselves that how do we create a healthy environment for ourselves, how do we seek stimuli in a healthy way. So we tend to get driven towards the familiar patterns that we have in our lives, right? And the moment the familiarity is shaken even a little bit, and our needs are not getting met, and life is so magical that it will give you all sorts of chances where it will bring you to the point to where you will encounter all of these things. And when we have all of these things internalized, these experiences internalized within our psyche, within our being, even if we are somehow finding people, somehow making things happen, somehow getting things done, yet there is an innate fear and insecurity inside, right? Disconnected with ourselves, separation. We are now disconnected with people also, right? But even if we have people in our life, even if we have a lot of people in our life, then also at some point of time, we continue to fear, what if these people leave, right? So we are not freely, not in a liberating way, able to truly connect with people for what they are. We are connecting with people because we are being driven by, they shouldn't leave me. I need to have people in my life. What if, something goes wrong and I'm lonely again, right? So we are having people in our lives for all different reasons. So disconnected with people also, and thus as we are disconnected with ourselves, disconnected in our relationships, we also feel that separation with life itself, because life is relationships, right? So as we look into our needs, if we are not feeling certain, if we are not feeling if we talk about the 7 core needs of, humans, emotional needs I'm talking about. So certainty, variety, love and connection, and significance. Love and connection and significance comes being into healthy relationships with right people, right? And if these things are not met, then we'll not be able to go to the further levels of growth and contribution and freedom, right? So we are so torn between, you know unhealthy patterns and the same familiar way of living over and over and over again. And then we ask ourselves this question: why do I feel lonely? Right? So that's a little bit of a story behind what is loneliness, how it begins, what causes us to feel lonely, um, and why it continues in our life. So I'm not saying that even if you have worked on yourself and you have healed all of your past patterns, you'll never feel lonely. All of us feel lonely at some or the other point of time in our lives. But when we are secure, right, even secure people who have worked on themselves, who have empowered themselves, who are powerful enough, who who have reached that sustainable level of groundedness, right? So it's not that they never feel lonely, but their loneliness is just situational in nature, right? So let's suppose right now everybody else in my house leaves and I'm sitting alone in this room and there's nobody to talk to. It's obvious that I'm going to feel lonely. Anybody is going to feel lonely. But when you are in that secure place, you know that you can acknowledge that right now I'm feeling lonely, and then you can also take the next step to see what is this loneliness trying to tell me, and then what are the ways, how can I find ways to stimulate myself, in a healthy way, right? Because this is just situational, or maybe just sit and feel lonely, right? Nothing, it doesn't bother those people anymore. But so I'm not talking about that kind of loneliness. The loneliness that we discussed is something which is deeply, deeply internalized, not just situations. Actually, it's also there in a very thin way, in a very precise, what should I say? An amount of it is always present, even if things are going fine in life, even if there are people in your life, even if there are there's everything that you ever wanted, and yet that's this feeling which is that pain in your heart, and you still feel it, and you're afraid, and you're going into relationships with fear, right? So I'm talking about that kind of loneliness, and it's somehow masked when things are going wrong, but then it gets triggered anytime even a small thing goes wrong, right? And that's where it is no longer a healthy form of situational form of loneliness, which everybody feels. It comes to a triggering form of loneliness, right? And the point is that loneliness is something that is a very, very common phenomenon, right? Because we suffer from loneliness at all different levels. Even if we have created an individual life where we feel happy and we feel good, and now we have maintained good relationships, there are people who still feel that emptiness, that loneliness inside, because they still feel disconnected from life, right? So it is there are entire different levels of loneliness that we can talk about. However, relationships are something which are the most prominent and the most important part of when it comes to loneliness, right? Because our relationships are a representation, a mirror of everything that we are feeling inside, right? So now the question comes that how do we overcome loneliness, right? How do we get over this feeling of emptiness? How do we get over this feeling of not having people around, uh, just this void that we feel? So the first thing that we need to do, right, is to ask ourselves this question: that what stops me? What are the barriers? what are the blocks on the way that stop me from experiencing connection in my life right now, right? And doing a self inquiry, that what are the reasons because of which I'm not able to feel that connection, right? Once you dig deeper into that level of self inquiry, it's important that you also go deeper and find out the root causes of where it came from. How did you develop that pattern? Where is it? Where are the roots of these patterns, right? And for that, it's very important that you take help of a professional, because when you are inside a muddy water, you cannot really take yourself out. Only a person who's standing outside can help you and take you out. However, the second thing is to really contemplate on this point, that what are the points, what are the splits inside you, what are the things which caused the separation inside you, which made you believe that you're not good enough, you will be rejected, you will be abandoned, you will be left alone, you will not be loved, you will not be cherished, you are not loved and cherished by people, you're not appreciated by people, right? What all are the areas where you are rejecting yourself, right? So we all see where other people are rejecting us, but we really need to contemplate on what are the areas where we are rejecting ourselves, right? So contemplating deeper on these things, and then coming to a point where we can identify these splits and integrate slowly, one at a time, one part at a time, wherever it was broken. It's not something that is that we can say that we are fixing, that there's anything wrong with us, or there's anything that is, we have gone all mad or anything. No, this happens to all of us at so many different levels. It's just about identifying, and it's just about bringing all the different parts of us back home, right? And once we start uh, healing our relationships with ourselves, also at the same point of time contemplating at a practical level that what what are your relationships reflecting onto you, what are they, what feedback are they giving to you, what are they trying to tell you, what are the situations in your life, reactions from people in your life, the kind of people you are attracting in your life, that kind of repeating situations that keep happening in your life, right? What are all of these things indicating to you, right? Having a genuine outlook at that thing, and slowly, once you have recognized all of these different splits, different parts of you, slowly, with love, with a lot of kindness, with a lot of compassion, because the source of it all, there's literally no way out for us to be separate from everything else. The water that we drink, the air that we breathe, we cannot say that this is my air, this is my water, this is my skin, and this is my, this earth, or all the elements in my body, this is mine. We think that it's mine, but there's really no way for us to truly be separate from everything, right? So of course, that's just for an understanding level, that I'm saying that we can actually never be separate from life or everything else. Now, just as we grow up, we have developed certain beliefs, right? Where we keep getting stuck, where we keep falling down, where we keep, you know, thinking, and we hold on to all of those thought patterns. So becoming aware, self-awareness, and then slowly identifying and integrating. So that's a little bit on the work part that we can do on this feeling of loneliness, right? And that this one thing, that it's not just your story, it's everybody's story. Loneliness is everybody's story, right? So there's nobody, no human being on earth, if you go and ask him or her that is it so that you have never felt alone? So everybody knows this feeling, right? So it's not an uncommon thing. It's not it's not that, if you're feeling it, then you're alone. It's, there are plenty of people out there who can resonate with this experience of yours. Another thing is that okay, 5% of things went wrong in our lives, but 95% of those things which are going right all the time in our lives, right? And whatever things that you have in your life, whatever relationships that you have in your life, whatever things that you have in your life, right? In whatever form that connection is flowing to you. Another next level question comes that are you willing enough to acknowledge that connection, or you are going to hold on to just the same beliefs? So while you do the work of dissolving and integrating those beliefs, at the same point of time, it's very important that we expand our perspective and just see and question ourselves, genuinely question ourselves. Is is my perception the only perception to exist? Or is there anything else also that has happened in my life? Or is there an evidence for anything else also that exists in my life, other people's life? It's happening all around us, right? So whatever fears, insecurities, beliefs, blocks, barriers, blocks in our mind, in our body, in our energetic system, whatever we have, they stop us from doing these things. Once we start dissolving, start emptying ourselves of all of those things that do not serve us, we can also start preparing ourselves, right, for what are the new things, what are the new perspectives, new perception, new way of looking at things, and slowly empowering ourselves, slowly preparing ourselves, slowly going towards that stage where we are feeling better than what how we have been feeling till now, how we have been thinking till now. So that's a little bit on the pathway part of how we can overcome loneliness. So great. That's all from my side today on loneliness. Any of you, if you have any questions, you can please post it in the comment box below. There was one comment: how to regain our conscious back again and not fight with separation. How to regain our conscious back. Okay. So what I'm understanding, it's Nitin's question, and what I'm understanding from Nitin's question is that how do we come back to the space where we can feel connected again and not fight with separation? So see, Nitin, separation and connection cannot coexist together in a particular moment, right? So in a particular moment, when you are present, when you are in presence, in awareness, when you are just there, right? And you're just observing things, you're just present with things, and you are responding. You're aware, you're taking a pause, and you're responding, right? You're already in connection. So it's you're no longer in that separation in that moment, right? Even if, let's suppose, I'm feeling loneliness and I'm feeling separate from everything, and I feel that I'm feeling so lonely and so alone, and I just right now sit here and just acknowledge this fact: yes, I am feeling lonely right now, I am feeling separation right now, right? And I'm just here right now with myself in this moment. I've already established connection, right? So being present with wherever you are, looking at things objectively as they are. If we have fears and insecurities, acknowledging them, finding them, right? Questioning ourselves genuinely, not questioning ourselves in a way that why am I like, not from the blame or complain mode, but from the angle of genuine asking, right? So when we just remain present and we just see things, how, where they came from, how it is happening, what am I feeling, what am I thinking, how am I reacting, or how I was going to react in a certain situation, right? Or what is the reaction happening, how is the reaction coming inside my happening inside my head? The moment I become observant of that, I'm back, I'm already back connected to myself. And when we are connected to ourselves, we also develop the capacity to connect with other people, right? Because whether the stimuli or whether the reaction is happening inside or it is happening outside inside, reaction is yours, loneliness is yours, right? It's us, it's there inside us, and we recognize it, we sit with it, we do the work that is needed to be done, we already connected back. So there's nothing more to this. There's a it's two things cannot coexist together in a particular moment, right? So you can either be connected or not be connected, and the moment you recognize that I'm not connected, you're already connected, right? So yeah, that's that. Let me see if there are any other questions. Sumit, this is the first time I've joined your live. We have okay, thank you, Sumit. Yes, definitely, at times there are triggers that make you feel lonely, and then we can reflect upon if in a relationship there is something that is coming up. So let's suppose somebody comes and says something very mean to us and we feel bad, right? And then we can take a few steps back and contemplate on that point of time that what is this situation, what is this person, and the feedback and the response that I'm getting from this person, what is it trying to show me, what is it trying to teach me, what is it trying to reflect back to me? Am I not good with setting boundaries? Did I not clearly specify to this person what I wanted? Is this person saying this thing? If Because if we are in our power and we can recognize that whatever way the other person is responding is about them and not us, it wouldn't impact us. We may feel hurt, we may feel sad, but we will not take it personally. But the moment we start taking it personally, it means there's something inside us who also believes in what the other person is saying, right? So anyway, these are just few examples, but whatever the other person is reflecting back to us in relationships, no, I'm not saying that we'll not feel any emotions, we'll never feel sad or hurt, we'll feel all of those things, but even with that we can sit within ourselves and still reflect back that what is it trying to show me, right? Cool. Thank you so much, Sumit, and a very, very valuable comments that you have put. Yes. Cool. Thank you so much. Cool. So it's time, guys. It's 7:33 again, and this topic is really, really deep, and it requires it's a huge topic, and it requires personal touch, and it requires personal understanding if you want to work upon these things. So everything I've shared today is generic, and the stories, the examples that I have taken are all generic. Not everything applies to everybody. You could have a very subjective experience and a very subjective, dealing with loneliness, right? So don't take this as a straightaway advice or anything. No, it's not that. It's not a professional advice. It's just, an awareness session. So yes, if you feel that way, however, please go ahead and take professional help. Trust me, it really helps. So that's that from my side, guys, today, and I'm so much enjoying coming live after such a long time, and I am looking forward to meeting you guys again next week, and there will be some more live sessions definitely coming along. And thank you so much for joining, everyone. Thank you. Have a great